Well, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining me again for Dinner and Dialogue. I know this is right about the time that everyone is getting ready to prepare dinner for their family. So, thank you all so much for taking time out to join us for Dinner and Dialogue tonight. Tonight, we're going to be talking about business and small business in our community. Please know that you all are in my thoughts and in my prayers as we continue to fight against COVID 19. I know that you might be getting weary, but we must hold steady and follow the governor's recommendations. We are so close to being back open, but please stay inside. But I just wanted to encourage you all that we are coming close. But tonight, we're going to spend a little bit of time discussing small business and the state of small business in our community. It is not lost on me that this has been a difficult time for each of our small businesses within Saginaw County. And I want to thank each of you for doing some of the most noble work one can do in our community, opening a business and hiring local people. A small local business is the key to a strong economy. In 2019, the small businesses employed 1.9 million people within the state of Michigan. That is huge and accounted for nearly half of the privately hired workforce. The purpose of this discussion tonight is for me to listen, and I want you to put your comments in the comment section below. I know that some of our businesses are facing some real difficulty, so we want to make sure that we're able to connect them with resources within our community, with the federal government, and with the state as well. I want to know how COVID 19 has affected you and what tools you will need to be successful to move forward. I do have some questions that have been prepared and that have already come in, but we want this discussion to be interactive. We want to know what we can do to help with your small business as we talk about recovery and move forward. So if you're joining us via video chat, please use your respective comment box. And I really look forward to hearing some of your questions and getting your responses to those questions because small businesses are the engine that really drive our community. So we have some phenomenal small businesses who are going to be joining us tonight. We also have an expert who is going to be joining us as well, Ms. Kana Franklin. But let me go ahead and introduce them in just a moment for you. We know that our district has a really robust small business community, and it's important to me that I connect with each of those businesses just to see if they need a helping hand. So I want to move forward in just a moment. But I also want you to know that this campaign, my campaign, is your campaign, and do not hesitate to reach out to me if you need to. During this conversation, please feel free to check out some of my top priorities for our community. We've developed a robust policy agenda and set of priorities. And also during this conversation, please feel free to check out our website on clintbryant.com, or for our Spanish speaking community, you can visit our website at es.clintbryant.com. And I'm so pleased to be joined by some of our esteemed panelists this evening. We have Miss Kana Franklin. She is the Deputy Director for Community Services for the City of Saginaw. Hi, Kana. Hi, Reverend Miles. It's okay. It's good to, we're definitely relaxed here. We definitely have a really relaxed setting. I worked with Pastor Franklin, Reverend Franklin, for a very long time in Saginaw Public Schools and then over at Bridgeport Community Schools. So it's a family affair. So thank you so much, Ms. Kana, for joining us tonight. I really appreciate the insight that you're going to be able to provide to some of our small businesses. You are wear many hats in our community and with the city of Saginaw. I had the pleasure of working with you on a couple different things. I will never forget the first day when I got my orientation, some of the conversations that we had. But it's all geared toward making our community better and offering a hand up to those who need some direction, some assistance. So I just want to say thank you so much for joining us.
And thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Next on our panel, we have, I don't know if I can say his last name. I'm gonna give it my best. Steve, I just call him Chef Speary. That's what I call him. Steve, could you help me with that last name?
It's Spirdigliosi.
All right, Spear Digliosi. Thank you,
Yeah.
thank you so much, Steve.
You're welcome.
Steve is a chef in our community, and he's also co-owner of the magnificent Artisan Urban Bistro. We had a chance to connect a little bit earlier just to talk about how they've shifted. So I'm looking forward to speaking a little bit more about that. But I just want to say thank you so much, Steve, for joining us on the call tonight. I know you have some questions, and I know you have some comments, and we just want to provide as much direction as we can. And your restaurant, you and Lonnie do such a phenomenal job.
Thank
So
you.
I just want to say thank you for joining us, Steve.
All right. Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. And then next on our panel, we know her, we love her. She is an Old Town business owner, and you've seen her in many locations. We're talking about some new innovative things that she's going to be bringing once COVID-19 is, we have a vaccine and some of our restrictions are lifted. But we have Kuwana Ray. She is the owner of the magnificent You Me Paint.
Hi, everybody.
Hello. You have such a great business in Old Town. I look forward to talking about a little bit about what's going on in our community now, but I'm also looking forward to talking about the future and what that looks like. And I know you have some really exciting things in store.
Yes, that's right, Quant.
Awesome. Thank
Thanks
you
for
again.
having me.
Absolutely. And next on our panel to round it out, we have Mr. Toyo Rosas.
Hello. How you doing?
Good. We'll get you connected in just a minute. Toyo, you guys have really, as soon as you opened, you hit the ground running. And you guys have a phenomenal business. I know that you guys have adjusted some of your operations, but I'm so thankful. I know you've also had, COVID has really struck your home and struck your family.
Yeah.
So we are,
that.
yes, you continue to be in my prayers and in the prayers of my family because you are like family to me. So when this hit you, it really hit us hard. But it's great to know that Mala is home and she's on the road to recovery. But we have to continue to keep her lifted up in prayer.
Yes, it was all thanks to be to God. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and I want to thank all of our panelists for joining us tonight. Thank you so much. And I want to remind our listeners to keep your questions coming. I will make sure that we get to them. I know we have a limited amount of time tonight, but your questions are very important to me. And even after our conversation tonight, just know that I want to be a great resource. Or if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to us. Or if there's something that comes up, just put it in the comment section below. But we're going to go ahead and get started. We have just about everybody with us. So I wanted to ask one question to each of you tonight who are business owners in our community. And we'll go ahead and start with Ms. Kuwana. If you could tell us, why did you start a business?
Well, I started You Me Paint experience basically to bring something different and new to my hometown. I feel like we shouldn't have to go to other cities to enjoy big city experiences. And so I also wanted to create a legacy, teach my children that owning your own business is attainable. But more importantly, just reviving the art in our community because I grew up loving art and just bringing that big city experience to our small town.
Oh, wonderful. That's wonderful. That's legacy work that we're talking about. Let me go with Chef.
Yeah. I mean, the reason why I opened up a small business is basically I just wanted to show the community where I was born and raised, everything that I had to offer. And, and it's all my skills, I picked up from this community. So it's just my way of giving back, doing what I love and offering my skill to the community.
Mhm. Awesome. And we thank you for it. Definitely. Let's go to Toyo. I wanted to know, the first question that I posed to each of our panelists is, why did you start a business?
Having a tire shop on the east side on Genesee, and how I turned into a restaurant owner, I don't have a clue. Tires and tacos don't even rhyme. I mean, what?
Well, we are so thankful. But was there one motivating factor that kind of propelled you to push forward? Because owning a business is definitely not easy, and it seems like you're pulled in many directions. Just because I have so many friends who own small businesses here, and they tell me about. So is there one thing that kind of dragged you into opening up this restaurant? Was it family recipes? What was it?
Yeah, family recipes, and I mean, it was just like I could work more with my family in the restaurant business than beside the tire shop. So, I mean, it just all came about as family, to work with family and stuff, and I enjoy cooking, so might as well do it.
Absolutely. Let me ask another question. How has this health pandemic affected your workforce and your business? Let's start with Chef.
Well, for me, like our restaurant was 99.99% dine-in, fine dining services where, you spend the evening with us and we're gonna, dine you inside of a beautiful building for 2 hours, giving you an experience. And overnight, we were thrusted into our business being 100% takeout. And so it was a huge curveball, something that we never really saw coming. I mean, it was supposed to be just the flu, and so didn't really, really dawn on us until we started hearing reports of other cities closing down and stuff like that. So, that's how it affected our business. Like it really turned us around, where we never had a real system of takeout, and now that's all we can do to rely on. So on a skeleton crew.
Mm-hmm.
So
let me ask this question to Kana. Minority-owned businesses are a critical component to a healthy economy. So, what can we do to ensure that we are fostering entrepreneurship and business ownership inside on?
As just community members, we have to remember to support one another. But I am speaking tonight on behalf of SCDC, and we did receive dollars from HUD to develop a loan product, a grant product to help our small businesses in the community to sustain. So we're working on a product now where we can do working capital. We can do facility improvements to help with sneeze guards or dividers or whatever you may need, PP, whatever that is. But HUD has been really forthcoming with dollars for the community. So we're looking forward to getting back to work so that we can support our small businesses monetarily.
nice.
Thank you. That's extremely important. One of my top priorities is to encourage our public education system to further lean in to teaching our students trade skills. And I want to get your guys' thoughts on that. But do you think this would be beneficial to our students? And is this something that your business might be willing to participate in? Let me go with Miss Ray.
Absolutely. As it relates to trades, I just truly believe that is very important. You know, I remember, my grandfather worked with GM, and, probably a lot of us were taught to get a great job and stay there forever. But sometimes individuals aren't taught to own your own business or have a trade, or they're kind of steered away from that. But a lot of children are very hands-on. A lot of kids, a lot of people can really excel in that area. So because of that, I think that we need to promote more of that, create the avenues for them to be able to excel in that area. And as a community leader, like, we try to be involved in as much as we can. I'm part of the entrepreneurship committee where, we're looking into that as well. So wherever we can fit in, wherever we can lend a hand, we're more than willing to do that.
Oh, thank you. Go ahead, Steve.
And just to add to that, I'm part of the system, in that way of thinking. I grew up going to SCC, the Saginaw Career Complex, and man, that is one heck of a school. And I feel like with trade schools, you're actively trying to find what some child is good at. And I think every child growing up in our community, is good at something. And just having these trade skills in the schools, it's just going to help us find what our children and the next generation is actually good at going forward. So I'm all for trade skills in the schools, push it. Any door that a child growing up in Saginaw that is open to them, any avenue that they can take should be, taught from a young age all the way through high school, that it's not just one avenue, via college where you can succeed. Find what you're good at, find what you love doing, and a trade school will help point that out to guide each individual child into a certain direction to succeed. And at the end of the day, it's the community itself is the only thing that's going to really benefit from that. Growing up, when I graduated with kids, so many people, the first thing was to just get the heck out of Saginaw. And those are lost, investments that we put into, our children. They're trying to get out, but if we teach them from a young age, there's avenues to success here in your hometown. I think we'll see more children taking that and succeeding from it.
Yeah, and if I can add, Clint, to kind of add to what Steve said, not every young person wants to go to college, right? Like, I am definitely support in education. However, some young individuals, they don't want to do that. That's not where their gift is. And I think that was the awesomeness of me growing up in Saginaw, is there were teachers that really took the time to connect with us and put us in different areas and expose us to different things. And we excelled in that area. I went into HR, worked for Chrysler, but here I am owning an art studio.
Right.
So, that was imparted in me when I was young.
Mm-hmm. Let me get you on that question, Toyo. What are your thoughts? I mean, one of my priorities is to make sure that our education system is centered around skilled trades and building opportunity for our students. So, do you think that would be beneficial for our students? And would your business ever be willing to participate?
Yeah, in somewhat nature. I mean, you got to love what you do. I mean, that's point blank. I mean, if you want to be a cook, put your heart and soul into it, become a cook. You want to be a mechanic, put your heart and soul, it all revolves around you. I mean, I'm a firm believer, if you want something, you got to go get it.
That's right. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Another question, I wanted to shift this one to Ms. Kana. And it was about the challenges. There are a lot of challenges when it comes to opening a small business. So what can we do to further? I mean, and what are some of the things that I know our small business development, the Saginaw Economic Development Corporation offers? Could you just hit on a little bit of that and some of those barriers that folks are able to overcome with your assistance?
So we have credit repair assistance that we can offer. We do expos periodically. Don't know when the next one will be with all the social distancing, but there are a lot of times when people have a skill set, but they don't know what it takes. So they may be a good cook, but not understand inventory or payroll. And so those are things that we help with, and we can connect you to lawyers and insurance carriers and different parts of the industry that people just don't know about until they're in the business. So we like to walk them through from beginning to end. Some people don't know how you buy a building, what all it takes to buy a commercial building. And we work with realtors in town, and we can help with all of that. So we take people from idea to an open door. And so we ask people, when you have an idea, before you start spending money, talk to some experts, come in and see SCDC. Let us hook you up with some of our experts at our expense so that you're prepared before you start losing money. We're at City Hall, and I know our process will look different for a little while because we don't know, what social distancing is going to do to us, but we're there. And we're going to continue to be there, and we're going to continue to help people to stay open and still realize their dreams.
Yes. I want to lean in just a little bit more because you hit on something that I really enjoyed, and I've had the opportunity to see grow over the years, and that is our Small Business Expo. How many vendors at our most recent event did we have? Because I know it was hosted at the Dow Event Center, which really speaks for itself.
Right. We had 40 vendors, all small businesses that service the city of Saginaw. And we have two different platforms. Sometimes we do the expo where businesses who aren't open yet come in and learn what it takes to open. And so we have all sorts of workshops like branding and legal and taxes and things like that. And then we try to give our small businesses an opportunity to get some exposure. And so we have those small business expos too. So we try to help on both ends of the spectrum.
Oh, that's amazing. I remember driving over the Stu Frankie Bridge between Holland and Remington, and the sign always said, "Say yes to Saginaw" or "Support Saginaw." And that's what we're here to do. We're here to support all of our small businesses in Saginaw. But I do have another question that I want to ask each of you, because I know because some of our businesses, I know Toyo is just most recently opening, Artisan is open. I know Yumi Paint is not currently open yet. We're just waiting to get some more information and continue bending that curve. I wanted to know, what is the most pressing issue facing our small businesses, and what can we do to help? Let me start with Chef.
The most pressing issue right now, I would have to say, is getting people in our doors, getting people to come through, realize we're here, realize we're still open. We're here to service the community. We all get the information given to us almost on a daily basis of what we should do to keep the community safe. Realize, we're the heartbeat of, the city, like you were saying, and, we don't have the big money to pump, our ads into everybody's living room multiple times a day. But if you're hungry for pizza because you saw 10 Domino's commercials, just keep in mind to go out to a local pizza joint, use their ad to come to our, locally owned pizza joints and taco joints, and just supporting local that way. Just getting people in the door for us in revenues and sales. That's our the biggest pressing issue, especially in a community that's not the richest as is.
And I know you guys are offering family-sized meals as well, Steve.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we went from our average price being $25 to $30 a plate down to realizing that the community is struggling, that we wanted to feed as many people as possible. So we did family style half pans of pasta that will feed 4 people for $25.
Wow.
So we're trying to help. We're trying to do what we can for the community as well.
All right, let's go to Toyo, and then I'll come up to Miss Ray real quick. What is the most pressing issue that's facing you guys?
Well, we're still doing pretty good. I mean, like I said, we reopened today, and we did pretty well today. But the thing that is probably in the air right now is the product, the cost right now on meat, on lettuce, on tomato, all that plays effect with our small business. I mean, it gets me not upset, but sad to see McDonald's drive-through all the way to the road, and we can't even make $200 a day. It falls back on our community. Our community needs to really step up and help the small business to succeed instead of going to all these big chains that have money already.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You're exactly right, Toyo. I mean, I've been purchasing some gift cards, even when some of our businesses fully open. We know that we're going to have birthdays and celebrations, and our small businesses need a little bit of that influx right now. Let's get to Miss Ray. What is the most
Um,
pressing issue with your business right now?
I think, I mimic what Steve and Toyo has stated as well. It's just the community knowing that even though my doors aren't open, knowing that I have art kits that I'm providing for you to do art at home, or you can do a virtual session. And then, other businesses in the area, the services that they offer. And that was, I mean, you hit the nail on the head. McDonald's is the line is down the street when you have other local businesses that have to survive. And we really should be concerned about sustainability. And sustainability didn't just happen with COVID-19. It was a concern before COVID-19 even came into play. It's sustaining our businesses. You've seen businesses open and then less than a year later, they're closed. We have to be able to sustain each other, and that's supporting each other. And I know as a community, we're always supporting each other. I support everyone else supports, but right now it's just really crucial that we keep our dollars in the community. Another thing is, there's a lot of businesses that are fearful to open. They don't know how to open. Like for me, You Me Paint, to do a private party, it's a minimum requirement of 10 people. Well, if we're going to slowly open, that's going to be a concern. And, you're next to each other, and just how do we do that? Businesses being able to open and comfortably open, and also abiding by the executive order, being able to come together and figure out what that looks like, or, tapping into the other businesses to kind of, relieve that stress of, okay, how do I open? Is my business going to close? Do I walk away from this? I mean, it's a burden. I mean, it's not just You Me Paint, but it's, other businesses as well. I think that, we all mimic that fear. And though we don't live in fear, but of power and a sound mind, we want to open, and no one wants anyone to get sick in our establishment ever. No dollar is worth that. And so just being wise and knowing what the requirements are and how we can actually run our businesses safely in the community. And I think Kana said that, HUD had given some dollars so that, businesses are able to open according to the guidelines, setting your establishment up. Me, I'm an art studio, but you have a food establishment, or you have gyms, different businesses have different requirements. And so, coming together to figure out what all that looks like and how we hold each other's hand and just, sustain the community.
And we do have, I want to encourage all of our listeners who are tuning in tonight. Thank you for joining us. But go ahead and leave your questions, comments, concerns in the respective comment box, and we'll make sure that we get to them. We may not get to every question tonight, but we're committed to connecting you with resources that are available. We know Saginaw Valley in the small business sector, they are having a large influx of questions and concerns, and they have some resources that are available. But we're also in communication with our federal and our state representatives because there are things out there. We just need to make sure that we're connecting to them. Michigan is 10th largest in population, but at the latest research and the data that we've been given, we're 35th when it comes to receiving assistance, when it comes to, from the federal government. So we need to make sure if there's an issue, whether it's connectivity, we need to solve that problem because we know that there are several businesses in our community that are hurting. But I wanted to ask Kana a question about some of the resources. Now, will the SCDC offer low interest loans right now to help folks through this, or will they offer free loans? Where are we at with that? Do you know?
We're working on a combination of products. So our interest rate is the lowest interest rate in town. We're always the cheapest money you'll find. We're trying to work on some loan forgiveness type products so that people don't have to pay us back, at least not right away.
Okay.
So we're working on those, and we're hoping for like the end of the first week of June. We want to do some sort of press release so that people can start to come in and get the dollars, apply for the dollars. So that's our goal.
Good.
And we
Very
do understand, Kawana, everybody's going to be different. And so we have that one-on-one approach, and it's what you need. It's, you know, we have funeral homes and restaurants and retail shops. Everything's going to be different.
Yeah.
So we're willing to work it out, figure out what everybody needs, and try to get the dollars into the community so that we can be supportive at this time.
So I got a question.
Yeah.
What do you consider a small business, employee-wise?
Well, we usually use rule of thumb less than $1 million a year. So if your sales are less than $1 million a year, we consider you a small business.
I mean, me just still learning the business. I mean, we've seen these the person protection plan where all these multi-million-dollar companies got the money from them. They had to give it back. But I mean, you know, that's not fair to the small business. I consider a small business 25 employees or under. And I mean, you know, that's just a small business in my book. I mean, if you're making $80 million a year, what do you need a loan for? I don't understand that.
Right.
Give me $80 million. I won't need nothing.
The SBA looks at 500 or less employees, but we're looking at our own small businesses here in the city.
In the community.
Yes, yes. And
Okay.
our goal is to help the people who didn't get the help from the other dollars. There were a couple other programs out there, the PPE program, Small Business Relief Program, and we're hearing complaints that none of our smaller businesses got any of the dollars. So we're hoping to fill that gap.
Yeah.
And that was part of my next question. Thank you, Toyo, and thank you, Kana, about the Michigan Small Business Relief Program. Is that something that anybody on our panel tonight has had the opportunity to be engaged with? Is it working? What are your thoughts? We'll start with Kana. We'll go to Steve, Kawana, and Toyo.
For me, I mean, I tried navigating through the hoops and figuring it out. It's very confusing, actually. A lot of technical things that you need, hardly anywhere to go for answers. If you do go somewhere, you're on hold all day long just to get hung up on or disconnected somehow. And I don't know really anybody that's gotten it. I know I'm still waiting, so I don't even know if I filled it out right, to be honest with you. So.
We haven't heard success stories.
Yeah, I mean,
any local success. We haven't heard any. We've gotten a few complaints and we've gotten a few requests for help navigating those systems. And it's my understanding that the money is all gone.
It was gone immediately.
So that's why we're here, and we're going to try to come in and fill the gap and help the people right here in our own community stay in our community.
Kawana or Toyo, have you guys had experience with the Michigan Small Business Relief Program at all?
No. I mean, my CPA, she's been doing a lot of paperwork, filling this out, filling that out, filling this out. And like I said, I mean, I'm just thankful, you know, that we can open the business back up and hopefully, you know, start a routine that we can start making some cash, because them bills didn't stop coming in at all.
No.
For me, I received a small amount of funding that was a blessing to me, and it was from Saginaw Future, and it completely caught me by surprise, and it helped me to be able to at least take care, you know, of some of my rent, and be able to pay the artist. The other portion was a loan, and honestly, I don't know if Kana can kind of help in this area, but for me, if I'm struggling with sustainability prior to COVID, and now I'm in COVID, a loan that I have to pay back in a year is just not a good option for me. I don't know about any other business, but taking out a loan, I feel like I'm setting myself up for failure. And so a loan just wouldn't be an option. And so that was something that was extended for an attractive amount to be able to help me. But I just thank God for what I was able to do for my artists, and just pray for him to help in some other aspect. But alone was just something that it just wasn't attractive to me.
Mm-hmm. We do. I want to keep your comments and questions coming in. Just throw them in the respective comment box. We'll be sure to get it. We'll be sure to get to them. But I just wanted to ask our panel. We'll start with Ms. Ray and then go to Toyo. But I had a question. What are your top 3 tips for starting a small business? What should our entrepreneurs who are thinking about taking that leap into entrepreneurship, what are 3 tips that you guys would have for them?
One would be to definitely be resilient. You have to be ready. This isn't, everyone thinks that owning, I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Owning a business it's rewarding, but it is hard work, and you have to be resilient, and you got to be ready for the ups and the downs and the stick-to-itness. The other thing would be, a lot of people always say, well, I got to do this and I got to do this, and when I do this, that's when I'm going to do it. And I just think that successful people aren't always the ones that have everything together and then take risks. You have to be able to take a risk and then get everything together. That shouldn't stop you from doing it if you have something that you want to do. And as Kana said, she has the resources that they're at SEDC. And so when I came back to Saginaw, I had to figure all that out. And so knowing where those resources are, so taking a second to research those resources, finding out where they are, getting a team behind you to help you with it probably would make it a little bit more easier for you. So searching out the resources, be ready to be resilient, and never give up. Never give up. Make sure you have your business plan together, because that's your map. You'll redo it and redo it and redo it, but it's your map. You want to have your map.
What do you think, Toyo? What are some of our some tips that we could offer some entrepreneurs who are thinking about stepping out, starting a small business?
Me, I would start off small like I did. I bought a food truck, and I worked the heck out of that for 3 years, hard. Like hustling on every corner, and like putting in the work.
With you.
Yeah, you remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, just put your all into it. Just keep on working hard, and eventually God's gonna see your work. He's gonna see your heart, and He's gonna give you what you need.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Thank you, Toyo. Chef.
For me, I love what you do, because it shows. If that's what you're going to do to open up your make a living on, support your family, to do for the community, you got to love doing it. You got to be willing to work hard at it every day. When you own your own business, you work harder than the average 9-to-5er. There's no hours. I mean, if you need to do a radio ad and you got to be there at 5:30 in the morning, you're there at 5:30 in the morning, and then dinner service at 6, and you go home at 10 o'clock at night. And that's, you just got to be willing to do that. And I think if you love what you do, that will come natural to you. Research, business plan. Holy cow, doing your business plan, and it changes so much. And that's very important. Definitely your research and work at it. I mean, work in your community and get a following, and then just take that leap.
Hey, Clint, I left something out, Clint.
Yeah.
You gotta have a spouse to put up with all your long hours too.
That's right.
Building relationships. Relationship building is so important. And I think when I came back home to my hometown, that's really what is probably priceless, is the relationships that I've been able to build in the 5 years that I've been here. It's been some opportunities that have been presented to me that would not have been presented to me had I not had a relationship. So every opportunity, like maximizing those relationships are crucial.
Mm-hmm. Kana, can you tell us a little bit, what would you say some of the most important components are when it comes to developing that business plan?
Knowing your market, like Steve said, the research of the market is important. You got to know who's going to buy your product, not just at the grand opening, but forever. You know, your product needs to reach a community that exists. And sometimes people have dreams that would be nice if we lived in a different community or somewhere else. But in Saginaw, you got to research what's here. We tell people that it's not a get rich quick thing. It's expect people think they're going to become millionaires overnight. It's not going to happen. You got to work hard, you work long, and you may take a pay cut in your first couple of years. You may not get the profit you expected in your first couple of years, so you got to be ready for that. So we tell people, you know, you got to have a savings, you got to have some money to start. Those things are, knowing your market is our first thing. We get a lot of people who come in and want to do things that they've seen in their travels, and we say, okay, now how does that work here? You know, who are you marketing to here in Saginaw? What crowd? Where are you going with that? And they just don't put enough effort into that part of the plan. And we've seen businesses open and close in a year and a half, and it's because they weren't able to flex. They weren't able to move with the market. If the market's demanding A and then it stops, and you got to hurry up and come out with the B, you got to be ready to do that. Just like Steve said, going from dine in to take out, that's a big thing. And some restaurants couldn't do it. So you got to be ready to move with the times. You didn't know a pandemic was coming, but you were able to, you know, make some changes and go with it.
Well, and that's, I want to encourage everyone who is joining us. Thank you so much. That's been extremely helpful. One of the things in my policy platform, and if you want to take a look at it, go to clintbryant.com. If you're Spanish speaking, go ahead to es.clintbryant.com. But we have some plans for entrepreneurship as well in Michigan. One of those plans is a $50,000 grant across 1,000 small businesses in our community. And that is less than 5% of the governor's ask and her recommendation in the current budget and the upcoming budget. But I think that's extremely important because we as a state have to foster the spirit of entrepreneurship. I think Kana touched on it earlier when she said that, you know, what are the things that our community does well, you know, and it's just investing in people. And that's what we have to do. We have to realize that dreams are a possibility. And I think that everybody on this panel can speak to that. But we have to continue to support one another until we get to that next level. I know we're going to have we might have some more artisan urban bistros and Yumi Paints and TNT concessions all over the place. But we have to start supporting everyone that's in our community. One question I had for our entrepreneurs tonight. I know that that healthcare is always top of mind for business owners, and this sometimes can be daunting. But what are your thoughts on what can be done as far as our country and as we work to combat inequitable healthcare? What are some things that we can do that would help you as it looks at as we talk about recruiting and retaining some of our employees? Let's start with Chef.
What can you repeat that question? I'm sorry, I didn't really hear it.
I just wanted to talk a little bit about the inequities in our healthcare. Sometimes, as a business owner, I know it's on your guys' mind, but it can be a little bit daunting. But what are your thoughts on what should be done as our country works to address our inequitable healthcare system?
Well, really, it's information, just more information. What can be done is, you know, we just got to be safe about it, and information that comes in on this COVID-19, you know, we have to err on the side of caution with it. Really, that's I mean, that's all we can do at this point, because we don't really have, the best healthcare system where every single person can go to see a doctor twice a year. We're kind of going through this. We go see a doctor 2 weeks, later if we feel like we're coming down with a cold, or, if we get sick. So we kind of have to treat everybody right now as if they're possible carriers, and we have to, public safety is number one for us.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Anyone else? Kawana or Toyo, Kenya, any of you want to jump in on that question?
I think with anything, it starts from the top, and I just think that we have to challenge individuals to kind of just go after like institutional wrongs, or we have to make sure that we're doing the right thing. If we have a family member that's experiencing something and they're not getting the right treatment, rallying together to support who that is. Who are the individuals in the community that we can go to get help if we're not getting the correct treatment, if we're not just having the access to particular health care, just having a group of individuals in the community that fight for those specific things. Because not everyone has the knowledge or the to go, and say, hey, I'm being wronged, and being able to go after those type of things and challenging that. But as a community, as business owners, as a healthcare, we should always be challenging those inequities.
Absolutely. I think it's no more visible, and it took a pandemic to really shed light. When folks walk into an emergency room, there's just inequities and disparities in care that we receive, and these are lives we're talking about. And I know, Toyo, this has hit extremely close to home for you. And this is, we have to band together to combat this COVID-19 virus. I'm going to wrap up tonight with just another question, and I'm going to ask each of our panelists, give me 2 tangible things. We'll start with Toyo, and then we'll bounce around a little bit. But give me 2 tangible things that should be top priority when it comes to ensuring that we protect small businesses in our community.
How
do we protect them?
I'd say like help more with promoting, like if somebody could promote our business and help us, because we all don't have this, like Chef said earlier, we don't have the dollars to promote our business like McDonald's does, Burger King, Domino's. Can somebody help us promote here in Saginaw?
Right.
Excellent. Let's go with Miss Ray. Kawana.
Oh, Toyo, he hit it. Marketing budgets are extremely high to market, whether it be social media, whether it be your website, whether it be your marketing is so crucial. It is so important. And of course, we were just talking about it, before, and we were saying how, some business owners, we really don't really want to get into the marketing piece. We want someone to help us with that. Chef wants to cook. He doesn't want to deal with the marketing and how many, people are interacting on Facebook and Twitter, and how to get his promotions out, and that marketing piece is so important. And I'll go back to the other thing that I said about sustainability. I think that is so important. When a business opens, there needs to be a support team that is able to help that business to, whether it be structure right, whether it be bookkeeping, whether it be, whatever the thing that they're weak in, helping them to sustain. That goal should be to sustain. And I know there's Saginaw Soup. That is an awesome program, but those businesses that are already operating, but being able to help them to sustain, to stay around, longevity, just finding out what is the map for, the businesses to survive. We don't want businesses to close. If a business closes, we're like, no, why did you close? We should rally around that business. Like, wait, what can we do? How do we keep you open because it's for our community.
Right.
And you're absolutely right. And I think we have to be more transparent as well. You know, before, if a business is facing difficult time, don't wait and don't be, ask for help, ask for assistance, because there are programs out there. But if you wait too long, they may not be able to help or to assist or to help save that small business. I mean, there's so many small business. I think just about every small business is a beloved small business in Saginaw, and it really speaks to our spirit of supporting entrepreneurs. We got to continue doing that. Let me go to Chef. Let me repeat the question though for you. Give me 2 tangible things that should be our top priority when it talks about, or excuse me, when we talk about ensuring and protecting small business in our community.
Well, just like Toyo said, to touch base on that, just the marketing aspect, people in Saginaw don't realize how much of a gem this city is.
Yeah.
We were already voted #1 most caring city in Michigan, which is huge. And when you think about it, our citizens, we locally, with local businesses, we can cover just about everybody's needs in this city, whether it's food, whether it's shoes, whether it's painting, just about everything. You can find a local business that does it. It's just getting people to know where they're at, getting people to go there. That's the struggle for us. That could really, that will help right there. And then the sustainability with relief, especially through times like that. If the question is, what can we do as a priority to help aid and ensure that we protect small businesses, is if we ever do come to a time like this, we all pay our taxes, we all put into this system to where this is such an insane situation that, like Toyo said, our bills don't go down. We're sitting here and we're still paying workman's comp, even though we don't have an employees. So it's like that should be at least at the top of the list when you're trying to help small businesses out. If I were to develop, a bill to send to Washington, relief aid pack, that would be at the top of the list for me.
Very good. Let's go to Machina.
Yeah, so tangible. We definitely need more money. We need money in the community. We just need our money to circulate amongst ourselves and support each other. But Clint, that Saginaw has had an issue with tooting our own horn. We gotta get this information out there. We had that whole branding of the city of Saginaw, that video that they put together, and then they showed us. And who else did you tell? Like, we gotta figure out a better way to tell our story.
Right.
That goes to the whole marketing piece. It's the city as a whole. We don't tell our story loud enough or to enough people. So we got to work on that.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, that marketing campaign, I was privileged to help work on that redevelopment ready communities. And every time that you pass through, as you see that welcome to Saginaw sign, there's a badge of honor on there because we're certified for redevelopment. We are ready to go. We have so much that's already been done. We focused on that project for about 18 months.
Right.
And it's amazing to see some of the businesses that have been able to come in. We have a new vascular clinic. We have new businesses that are pop. I look at the bread guy. I mean, we have some really amazing stories, and that's what I think is most important, that we continue to tell our story. And that's why I'm running to be your next state representative, is to tell our stories and to carry those to Lansing and to bring back direct deliverables to our community, because just about everybody on this panel is, I consider, family. So if one of you is hurting, we're going to do everything that we can to support you. But I just wanted to, let's start with Kana. How would we get in touch with someone with the SEDC? How would we do that?
So I'm going to do an email address. It's SEDC@saginaw-mi.com, and flood us. Tell us what you want, what you would like to see in a product. We don't know everything that everybody is going through. We have ideas. We talk to the people that we've already talked to, but if we haven't heard from you, send us an email, scdc@saginaw-mi.com. Let us know what you need. Let us know what type of product you'd like to see. If you had a product that didn't work, tell us that, and maybe we can, work around that. But we just need to hear from everybody, because we're putting the product together now. So citizen input is great for us.
Oh, that's great.
scdc@saginaw-mi.com.
Awesome. Thank you, Kana. And I want to just wrap up with our panel tonight. Where can we find each of your businesses? If you would just tell us when we get, if we want to get some takeout. I know we have Steve and Toyo that are open. Let's start with Chef. Where's your business? Where can we support you at?
You can support us at 417 Hancock. Go to Artisan Urban Bistro Facebook page. We're pretty good at getting back to all your questions. Also, 417 Hancock Street, Old Town Saginaw.
Excellent. Toyo.
Yeah, I'm on Court Street, 1302 Court Street, right next to the historical Court Theater. We are doing takeout, delivery, and curbside, Tuesday through Saturday, 11 to 7, and then Sunday, 11 to 5. We're closed on Mondays for right now till everything gets back to the norm, but I don't know what the norm is, though.
Yes. And Miss Kalana.
You can find You Me Paint Experience in Old Town at 316 South Hamilton. We are closed. Not sure when we'll open. However, we have started our virtual paint sessions. Sunday was our first virtual paint session for Mother's Day. So if you want a virtual session, I know everybody's doing Zoom. So if you want to do a paint session during your family Zoom call, let us know. We'll help you with that. We also have our Art Out the Box, which is our home kits. So if you want to do art at home in your own space, at your own pace, let us know, and you can pick up curbside art kits. And you can reach us also on our website, youmepaint.com. That's the letter U as an umbrella, youmepaint.com. And we're also on Facebook at You Me Paint Experience.
Oh, that's great. Thank you. I just want to let everyone know tomorrow I'm encouraging everyone who is on joining us tonight for our virtual phone banking. We are starting something new, and I would have to encourage you to please join us as Calling with Clint, our phone banking event tomorrow from 6 to 8. And on Thursday, we will be having an off-the-record Pride stakeholders roundtable. And if you're interested in RSVPing to join us for that off-the-record conversation, you can go to clintbryant.com/RSVP. And then on Friday, I want to encourage all of our parents. I know my brother is a high school senior this year, and he's so super excited. He just got accepted into Saginaw Valley State University. So I have to plug my little brother. So proud of him. But on Friday, we are going to host a 2020 grad celebration. So please join the celebration here on Facebook Live. It'll start on Friday at 9 p.m. And I want to make sure that parents in our community send a photo of your grad. Please send us a photo so we can recognize them. We know that this is a really unusual circumstance to be graduating in. But we want to make sure that we recognize each of our 2020 grads in our community. Remember, you can always text Clint to 22999 or go to clintbryant.com for more information. And I also have a really exciting announcement. Our yard signs are in. So if you would like a yard sign, please go to my website to reserve one, and I'll begin to socially distant drop some of those off to some of our friends. But please go on our website to request a yard sign. And I want to thank each and every one of you for joining me tonight. And thank you to our incredible panelists. It's been a pleasure. And hopefully we were able to provide some information to our businesses who are struggling, but also some of those who may be interested in starting a small business in the future. Don't hesitate to contact us or reach out via Facebook, or you can email me at clint@clintbryant.com. There are many other places that each of you could have been tonight, and many other things you could be doing. So it means so much to me that each of you took time to join us tonight to talk about business in our community and the effects that this virus has had. I would also like to let you know that my social media handle is at Clint Bryant MI. So I just want to encourage everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. Continue to be safe. And I want to let you know that I hear you, and stay tuned as we continue to elevate each and every one of the issues that were brought up tonight. So thank you. Good night. Continue to stay home and stay safe.